Hi guys, it's Jamie from Jamie and his Whiskey here. I'm back and today I thought I would do something a little different. So far on my channel I've been reviewing whiskies and I haven't really talked about whiskey apart from that in any other context particularly. So I thought today would be a good opportunity, seeing as we're now in a tier 4, or as I'd like to call it, tier fucked. Oh dear, it's depressing, isn't it? We'll get through it. And what better way to get through it than talk about some single malt Scotch whisky and to hunker down and maybe have a few. Oh, sounds good. So yeah, I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to talk about that. I don't want to make this particularly a particularly long rambling video, but I just wanted to give some pointers and to offer some advice for things to look out for and some things not to look out for if you're somebody who's getting into exploring the world of whiskey. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be rounding up my top 5 whiskies for beginners. So please stay to the end of the video to find out more. So to start off with, I thought I'd talk about where you buy whiskey from, where we go when we decide to buy whiskey, where's the best place to start. Now, most people would go online or go into a supermarket. Both are good options. Both have plenty of options with beginner whiskies, prices which are relatively reasonable, and there's definitely a lot of options in both. So do your research if you can and look at both. If there's a whiskey that you've decided that you want to go for, check the online price because they will be cheaper on Amazon. Not that I'm Amazon's biggest fan in general, but I have to say when it comes to buying whiskey, I've found them to be quite handy with some good deals and finding some whiskies out there which aren't available necessarily in the shops. But today we will be talking more about these beginner entry-level style whiskies. So Amazon wouldn't necessarily be like a go-to for that because there's plenty of options in your local supermarket. Now, the next thing to talk about is budget. How much do you want to spend? Most people who might not be whiskey fanatics yet and are just dipping their toes into the whiskey world might not be looking to spend too much. So what was, when it comes to budget, times are tough at the moment, people are unemployed, there's some uncertainty in the future, and whiskey is a luxury item. People might not be wanting to spend 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds on a bottle of whiskey. You don't have to go anywhere near that. You can buy some very respectable, good single malt Scotch whiskies for a lot less than that, sub 30 pounds. So today, most of the whiskies that I'm going to mention at the end of the video will be in that 20 to 35 pound range. If you're looking to spend less than that, then I do honestly think that the quality will then start to dip and you won't be, you won't be getting much bang for your buck, and you're not really it's not going to be the best introduction to the whiskey world. The next thing is the style of whiskey. Now, whiskies come in many different styles. You can have rich and spicy, you can have maritime and smoky, like fruity and floral, nutty, woody, citrusy and malty. So many different flavours when it comes to Scotch whisky. And to clarify, I am going to be speaking more about Scotch whisky in general on my channel for now anyway, and mainly single malts. However, there will be a blended whiskey in my top 5 whiskies which I recommend at the end of this video. And when it comes to the style of whiskey that I would recommend for a beginner to try, I would definitely recommend going for something along the lines of sweet and floral and friendly. There would be nothing worse than to introduce a newbie to something that's smoky or too spicy or very full-bodied and rich. That might put them off whiskey forever. So I would suggest to you, if you want to get into whiskey, don't try anything too adventurous to start with. There's plenty of advice out there online for you to find out more information on that. And the whiskies I'm going to talk about at the end of this video will be along those sorts of lines, the more approachable, friendlier style of whiskies to try. Things to look at and to avoid, I would say try to avoid whiskies that don't have an age statement on them. An age statement is on the label usually very clear, and that will tell you that the amount of time that whiskey has been maturing in the casks for. It's the minimum time of the youngest whiskey that is in that bottle. So if it says 10 years on it, there will not be any whiskey in that bottle that has been maturing for less than 10 years. Okay, so I would definitely recommend looking for something with an age statement. If it's natural colour, unchill filtered, even better. But to start with, I wouldn't say that's necessarily a must. I'm not a fan of colour in whiskey or chill filtration. I think it dumbs the whiskey down. But that's something that you will grow to know and admire and appreciate the more you get into the whiskey world. If you're a beginner, these things won't and don't matter too much at the moment, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Look for something with an age statement, okay? And try to avoid whiskey that has marketing flannel, and some whiskies have really stupid names. They use words like Viking, prophecy, all these types of words which are aimed at getting people to buy the product. Not all these whiskies are bad, mind you, but today I'm going to be looking at more traditional, straight up single malts without all this marketing bump around them. Okay, so I hear you ask yourselves, Jamie, what are your top 5 whiskies? I'll tell you. Coming in at number 5, we have Old Pulteney, 12-year-old. Now this is from the northeast region of Scotland. It's a Highland whisky, which means it's located in the Highland region of Scotland. I highly recommend it. This one is a little bit different in the fact it's got a slight maritime quality to it. It's kind of salty, citrusy and malty. It's very approachable, and I highly recommend it as something that you try, and it's also extremely well priced. You can get it for £24 on Amazon, and that is great value for money. At number 4, I have a blend. It's the only blend in my list. This is a very well-known blend and extremely popular, and it comes at the top of many people's favourite affordable whiskies. It's called Monkey Shoulder. It's a mixture of 3 Speyside single malts. It's very sweet, toffeed, round flavour, and you cannot go wrong with this if you want to start off with something that's approachable and sweet. Okay, now time for the top 3. Coming in at number 3 is the Glenmorangie 10-year-old. This is another Highland malt. This is lovely. It's such a delicate, fruity, floral, well-balanced, affordable single malt. You can get it in a lot of places. It's extremely available. In most supermarkets you can find it on deals for down to £26. If you see it at £26, snap it up. At number 2, we're now down to my 2 recent favourite single malts that I've tried. These are single malts that anyone can enjoy. Number 2 is the Arran 10-year-old. Now this is an extra special one because it ticks a lot of boxes for me personally. It's a higher bottling strength, it's natural colour and unchill filtered. It truly is a lovely dram. I would recommend this for someone, a beginner or otherwise. You can't go wrong with this. It's slightly more expensive. I think the cheapest I've seen it going for is around £33 on Amazon. If you see it, beginner or not, snap it up. It's a must. And finally, for my number 1 spot for my top 5 whiskies for beginners is the the Glengoyne 10-year-old. This is biscuity and malty and fruity, a little bit nutty, absolutely delicious. It's only bottled at 40%. It's going to be extremely pleasant for someone who's getting into whiskey. There's nothing too aggressive or harsh about it. It's smooth, it's well-rounded, it's got a lot of complexity, and I highly recommend it again for anybody that wants to buy a top quality single malt at an affordable price. So guys, I hope this helped. Hopefully it wasn't too long and too rambling. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please support my channel by subscribing, sharing, liking, all the above. And I will be back soon with my 11th review for the Jaeg 10-year-old. I can't wait. I'll see you then. Take care. This is Jamie and his Whiskey signing out. Bye-bye.